Hi y'all, Sharon Diehl here. I'm a neuroendocrine carcinoma patient with stage 4 incurable cancer. I'm doing these videos to show that there is life and joy beyond the diagnosis. Today has been a very long day. I spent the major part of the day at Moffitt Cancer Center in Tampa. I live in Orlando, so we were up and driving at 6 o'clock this morning to make it to an 8 o'clock appointment. I had left my husband in the car as they requested and went in by myself. I had labs drawn, then I had a CAT scan done with and without contrast, and then I had come out, had lunch with my husband in the parking lot of Denny's, and then I went back in by myself again and saw the doctor with my husband on speakerphone. They're not allowing anybody in the building except for patients, and it's a hard thing to do alone. I would rather be with my husband and have his emotional and physical support there. And I had some good news and some bad news. So the reason they did the scan was because this is the specialist. This is the doctor that sees only neuroendocrine carcinoma patients. And my doctor in Orlando told me that if I wanted to go to Texas to try to be cured of this kind of cancer, that I should make a pit stop in Tampa first and see this neuroendocrine carcinoma specialist. And when I went to see him, he told me that there was no such cure, that I didn't have any hope of ever being cancer-free, and that whoever gave me that information was wrong to tell me and to give me hope that I could ever be cancer-free. So he told me that day, when he looked at my previous scans, that the scan before the last one that he had showed my stomach at normal size, and the last scan that I had done at Mayo Clinic showed that my stomach was larger than it was supposed to be. So he was concerned about the size of my stomach and about my intestines backing up and not emptying my stomach, and that there might be a hernia or a possible blockage. So I went today and had the scans done, which showed that my stomach was normal size again. There was no explanation, that whatever was wrong with my stomach had righted itself all by itself. And I'm glad that I've been asking God, not even asking God, telling God, thank you every day for the healing that's going on in my body. Thank you every day for me getting stronger, and thank you for me getting healthier, and thank you for me being able to fight this cancer and that it would get smaller. However, there was another part on the scan that showed a great amount of growth in the cancer, specifically on a tumor that they had radiated. Originally, there was a cancerous tumor from a lymph node on my aorta that was causing me a great amount of pain, and I was in such physical pain at the time that they radiated it to remove it, to relieve the pressure off of my spine. And I had told my husband a couple of times in the last month that that pain was returning, and that I was hoping that that wasn't what it was coming from. But he's concerned that this particular growth is back and that it's growing rapidly, and he wants to start me on another medication, but I can't start it because my white blood count is too low, and this medicine, one of the side effects is it brings your white blood cell count down. So being that my cell count is down again, it was down right before COVID-19. I was wearing a mask before everybody was wearing a mask. I was wearing a mask because I was not to be out in public and around people who were sick, because my cell count was so low. So this is the case again. And one of the medications that I'm taking, one of the side effects is that it lowers your white blood cell count. So we're coming off of that medication, tapering off of that one, going back on another one that costs $500 a month. But if I go and pick up a card from the PA at the psychiatrist's office, they might be able to get me this medicine for $15 a month instead of $500. So it's this, I'm officially old now. I've got a pharmacy bill that I can't pay. Of course, if we had to pay $500 a month for a medication, we would pay it. We would find a way. But I feel what other people feel. I understand the shock and the concern that people have when they get that kind of a bill and they get that kind of medicine, that's the only one that works and they need it, and how dare they charge that much for it. So they haven't said anything other than they want to put me on a new medication, but they need to bring my white blood cell count up. I'm totally convinced that the depression about this germ and this virus and being locked in the house and being in quarantine and being afraid of my husband bringing things into the house every day, I think this brings your white blood cell count down. I think that when you're happy and you're carefree and you have a good attitude, it brings your white blood count up. And I believe that's the way that I brought it up before, and I'm in hopes that I would bring it up again. The doctor said that he didn't believe that. He did not think there was any validity to emotions and attitudes changing the numbers on blood work. So that's just his personal belief. We're going to agree to disagree. And I'm hoping that we can bring the white cell count up, that I will become stronger. The new medication will shrink the tumor. I will not have to have radiation again. We're praying that I will not have to have radiation again, that I will be able to control the growth of this cancer with medication and continue my monthly shots and take this other medication ever how many days apart it is. I don't remember. It was kind of a fog. It's why I like for my husband to be on my appointments, because I can't remember everything they say. So he was in the car taking notes, and he will remember what they said. So I'm glad that I have him as a reference, and we will go back and look at what needs to be done. But it's in God's hand, and we are going to continue on doing the same thing that we've been doing, just knowing that I have cancer and it tends to grow and it tends to spread, and we're going to respect that, and we're going to move on to the next medication. That's the update for today. I appreciate all of your prayers, and in spite of everything that happened, I got some wonderful gifts in the mail today. I ordered myself some potting soil, which was a nice heavy package, and then I ordered myself a balloon plant. This is something that I grew when I lived in Woodstock, Georgia. I had a beautiful plant that came up in my yard, and it just started blooming all on its own, and I was very careful to take care of it, and it opens up. The bud is a completely round ball, and then when it opens up, it's a beautiful star plant, and they're beautiful and they're purple. And I ordered a live plant today, and it came, and I can't wait to see it bloom. It will give me great joy, and that's what I need. That's one of the things that I think brings the white blood cell count up, is joy. So we're going to focus on joy. We're going to get back in the mode of looking for joy and finding joy every day, and continue to fight this cancer and to be a warrior. Have a good one.